Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today, we're diving into the world of muscle biology with Cytokinetics' latest annual report. Get ready for some serious financial gymnastics, because deciphering this report is like trying to flex a muscle you didn't know you had. We're going to break down their plans, their potential drugs, and whether this company is truly building strength or just experiencing some growing pains. First off, let's get a quick overview of what Cytokinetics is all about. They're a biopharmaceutical company laser-focused on muscle performance. Think of them as the engineers of the human body, trying to fix or enhance our muscles through cutting-edge drugs. They're not just about building bigger biceps. They're tackling serious cardiovascular and neuromuscular diseases where muscle function is failing. To understand Cytokinetics, we need to learn their language. Let's quickly cover some key terms they use. HCM means hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, a condition where the heart muscle gets too thick. HFpF and HFrF are types of heart failure. Effecamine and oncomtive mecarbil are key drugs we will be talking about today. Don't worry, you don't need a medical degree, just think of them as players on a sports team. Now, before we get too excited, there's a standard disclaimer about forward-looking statements. Basically, this is the company saying, hey, we're making predictions about the future, but things might not go exactly as planned. It's a reminder that the biopharmaceutical world is full of risks and uncertainties. Cytokinetics has a 5-year strategic plan called Vision 2030. Think of it as their roadmap to becoming a muscle biology powerhouse. This plan revolves around innovation, getting their drugs to market quickly, reaching a lot of patients, creating a patient-focused culture, and leading the way in muscle therapeutics. A big part of their plan is to launch new drugs in the US in 2025 and Europe in 2026, focusing on concentrated customer segments with a smaller, more targeted sales force. Their success relies on approval in different geographies. Their leading drug is Effecamine for HCM, that heart-thickening disease. They're running clinical trials and waiting for the FDA to approve it. This has potential to improve shortness of breath and other symptoms of the disease. The FDA is expected to make a decision by September of this year, 2025. They've partnered with Bayer for commercialization of Effecamine in Japan. It's like forming an alliance to conquer new territory. They're waiting for approval in China as well, but Sanofi runs that show. Royalty Pharma has purchased rights to receive 4.5% of the worldwide annual net sales of Effecamine up to $5 billion and 1% of sales above that. That is like selling the right to revenue in the future for cash now. Another major drug, oncomtive mecarbil, is being tested for heart failure with reduced ejection fraction, or HFrF. Think of HFrF like an engine losing power. The heart has difficulty pushing blood through the body. They are trying to confirm the drug's benefits to receive FDA approval by running a trial called COMET-HF. They've also got CK-586, a novel cardiac myosin inhibitor for heart failure with preserved ejection fraction, or HFpF, a different type of heart failure. They are trying to prove that it's safe and effective. And CK-089, a fast skeletal muscle troponin activator for treating types of muscular dystrophy. These are earlier stage efforts with more uncertainty than Effecamine, as the potential therapeutic dose is limited. The company relies on third parties to manufacture their drug candidates and are actively seeking other options. This is to help supply run more smoothly. There's a crowded market for these types of drugs. If Effecamine gets approved, it'll compete with Camzyos, which is marketed by Bristol Myers Squibb. For oncomtive mecarbil, there are a lot of generic and branded drugs for HFrF such as Corlener or Verquvo. The company hopes that the new drug can offer better clinical outcomes and improve people's lives. Patents are very important. The company has over 80 US patents and are seeking more. This could help block competition. The FDA is strict on the company. They must provide extensive data for each indication for which the product will be labeled. There may also be difficulty getting the product added to formularies as there is much competition. The Inflation Reduction Act of 2022, or IRA, could impact product pricing. As of December 31, 2024, they have 498 employees. We are told the employees have a good work environment with career developments, competitive pay, and ongoing surveys. Cytokinetics is a large accelerated filer, meaning they are a bigger company that has to file financial reports faster. Their public float was $5.6 billion as of June of last year. There are a lot of abbreviations and terms, so scroll to the top to see this glossary of terms if you need to know what something is. Now let's talk about the financials. As of December 31, 2024, they had $94.9 million in cash and cash equivalents and nearly $1 billion in short-term investments. This means that have access to $1 billion in the short term if needed. Their debt is also significant, at $780.1 million as of the end of last year. They lost almost $400 million, specifically $395.9 million in 2024. This is because there were ongoing research and development activities and general and administrative expenses. They sold future royalties to help fund themselves. These agreements with Royalty Pharma have covenants and payment schedules that could limit CYTOKINETICS' future ability to maneuver. They expect research and development expenses will increase in 2025 to further advance their pipeline drugs. At the same time, general and administrative expenses will increase due to sales and marketing efforts. Their success depends a lot on insurance coverage. If the government or insurance companies don't pay for their drugs, they may have difficulty selling them at a profit. It's hard to get patients access to drugs that they may not be able to afford. The company has tax loss carry-forwards of $1.2 billion that they can use to offset future income if they become profitable. If the tax law changes, they may not be able to use these tax benefits to offset future expenses and taxes, which is a risk to their investors. There are several financial risks to the business, including cybersecurity, and if their facility has an earthquake. With regards to cybersecurity, the company has processes to manage risks from threats. There is an audit committee of the board and outside people that are engaged on risk management. A major risk is how difficult is it to determine how large the HCM and heart failure with severely reduced ejection fraction markets actually are. If their estimates are wrong, they will have bad finances. They may lose money if their drug is not better or cheaper than drugs that are currently on the market. They will also lose if there is not sufficient insurance coverage. Now, looking at these results more broadly, the success of CYTOKINETICS is largely dependent on their ability to effectively develop and commercialize its drug candidates, particularly Accession. This company is not quite profitable yet, but they do have the potential to make it big. A notable downside is high debt levels. CYTOKINETICS has a focused strategy, but execution and regulatory outcomes will be the ultimate arbiters of their fate. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment below.